It's Tuesday, the 25th of June. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Jamaica and the rest of the world is today celebrating International Day of the Seafarer, an annual recognition of the significant contribution seafarers make to the global community. Without seafarers, there would be no shipping, and without shipping, world trade would be unable to function. The world owes our seafarers a great deal of thanks and respect, today and every day. Coming up in our show today, details on how to get your driver's license.
First step we need to do is that we must be successful in the road code test, and we must acquire the provisional driver's license.
Plus, information on the location of game reserve and other rules governing the annual bird season.
It's also illegal to bring into these game reserves any weapons or dogs for hunting, or even to take the nest of a bird.
We'll have these and more in our lineup, but first, let's take the news.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, June 25, 2024. A comprehensive report on serious concerns in the public healthcare system was presented to Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Cabinet on Monday. It includes efforts to enhance the public health sector, an audit of equipment, and investigations into the death of 3 persons, which include a newborn baby. According to a release from the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Holness has instructed the Ministry of Health and Wellness to expedite the investigations of the cases and for the final report to be brought to Cabinet. The Prime Minister insists that no parent or child should have to grieve for their loved ones due to issues in our healthcare system, and that his administration will continue to work diligently to ensure that our healthcare system meets the needs of citizens. Minister with responsibility for information, Senator Dana Morris Dixon, adds that the administration maintains an unwavering commitment to using all available resources to improve patient care for all Jamaicans and to address the areas of concerns.
The Ministry of Health team will be at the post-cabinet press briefing scheduled for June 26, which is this Wednesday, to provide further details to the people of Jamaica in relation to those investigations and also the work that is being done to make our health system world-class and robust, and a health system that is meeting the needs of every Jamaican.
The town of Ocho Rios in St. Anne has been earmarked for development to accommodate rapid growth taking place in parts of the parish. During a working visit to the parish on Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the investment was huge and would run into billions of dollars.
It's a huge investment. And the reason for that is that the entire town of Ocho Rios is being looked at for redevelopment. So I know you see that your town is growing, a lot of people coming into your town, a lot of housing developments going on around the town, and just outside of the town, we see some other areas developing as well. So the infrastructure that is here can carry all the activities that you have. So we're going to have to do some really serious investments.
The Prime Minister assured vendors and other stakeholders that plans to upgrade the market and transportation center would be put into effect in short order.
So we have a comprehensive plan which we are going to start to put into effect very shortly to do some simple things. First of all, to improve the sanitary facilities, which we have started to in this market, and then to improve some of the street areas to create exclusive pedestrian zones.
Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort, is encouraging Jamaicans within the diaspora who are eligible to vote to enumerate. This will put them in a position to participate in the constitutional reform process, where Jamaica is moving from a constitutional monarchy to a republic state. Minister Malihu Ford made the call during a plenary session at the recently concluded 10th Biennial Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay.
Please enumerate to participate. The process will come down the road. Keep in touch with what is happening. We have the Road to Republic of Jamaica website. We have the mlca.gov.jm, Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. We're on all the social media pages. And you have a ministry, and you have the consulates and the embassies and the high commissions. If you have a question and you don't wish to utilize the electronic media space, drop your question there. I assure you, all of the missions will ensure that we get it and that you get an answer.
The minister is encouraging diasporans and Jamaicans at home to read the report from the Constitutional Reform Committee, which was tabled in Parliament recently. The report is available on the ministry's website. She says her ministry and the Constitutional Reform Committee is now moving to prepare drafting instructions for the substantive bill to create the new Constitution of Jamaica. This will be brought to Parliament for a 2/3 majority vote approval and to the people for a referendum. Work is soon to begin to renovate the Kendall Primary School in Hanover and provide a comfortable teaching and learning environment for students and teachers. A contract valued at $117 million was signed on Friday to address termite infestation, leaking roof, inadequate ventilation and flooding, and to construct an administrative block. The initiative is expected to be completed within 6 months. The funding is provided through the Caribbean Development Bank Basic Needs Trust Fund and is being channeled through the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams says the broader benefits of this project are in line with the government's overarching goal to transform education.
There are many pillars of transformation, and one of those is infrastructure. We have to upgrade the infrastructure of our schools all across Jamaica. The good news is we have partners like JSIF, and we have the significant commitment of this government to overhaul the infrastructure of our schools all across Jamaica.
As we sign the contract, we know that we are all united in our purpose of this investment to the benefit of the children of Hanover. And so congratulations on this, and if anything, I just look forward now to the completion and handing over of the project.
55 educators across the sector are now part of a certified pool of teachers who can function as principals. They successfully earned the professional qualification for principalship after completing the Aspiring Principals program. The postgraduate level initiative is offered by the National College for Educational Leadership in partnership with the University of the West Indies. The participants were exposed to skills such as transformational, instructional, organizational, and community leadership. The aim is for aspiring principals to be equipped with the skills, knowledge, and vision necessary to enhance school administration. At a recent presentation ceremony, Minister of Education Favour Williams praised the graduates for their hard work and emphasized the importance of their accomplishment.
This postgraduate level program is more than just a course. It is a transformative journey that prepares you for the immense task of leading educational institutions and influencing the lives of countless students.
National College of Educational Leadership Interim Director and Principal Winnie Berry revealed a 200% increase in the number of applicants across all National College of Educational Leadership programs and initiatives this year.
Now, more than ever, we must focus on strengthening the capacity of aspiring school leaders to be responsive to the rapid changes of our time.
And finally, the Ministry of Justice continues to expand its outreach programs to benefit persons living with disabilities. The latest Legal Aid Council Justice Fair was held at Emancipation Park in New Kingston on Friday. The fairs continue to promote and increase equitable access to justice services and raise awareness among persons living with disabilities about their rights. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says collaboration is ongoing with various stakeholders, including legal experts, disability rights advocates, and community organizations, to develop and implement strategies intended to expand the accessibility of legal aid services.
We are working to enhance the accessibility of legal aid services through various channels, including physical accessibility, communication support, such as sign language, interpreters, and accessibility formats, and remote access options.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The Ministry of Education and Youth is rallying calls for all Jamaicans to be a part of its initiative to transform education. Take a look.
In a globalized world where nations must empower their people to become innovative citizens, Jamaica is ready to set the trend, transforming education for national development. Led by the Ministry of Education and Youth, the mission is for a brighter tomorrow. The 2021 Patterson Report made it clear we need to ensure better quality education throughout all levels of the system. While the ministry will lead the charge, we need all stakeholders to get into position to help Jamaica become a more globally competitive nation. Students, educators, parents, civil society, business people, media and communities. Jamaicans across all sectors can play a role. The journey to a brighter tomorrow starts now. Deliberate action is being taken on 7 strategic priorities up to 2030. 7 pillars of change to transform education. Better governance for better outcomes. Efficient spending and enhanced strategic focus. Improved and equitable access to quality early childhood education. Improved quality of teaching and curriculum delivery. A higher education sector that is coherent, equitable and well-resourced. Developing critical thinking, lifelong learners who are creative, innovative and productive, contributing to the country's sustainable development. Technical, vocational education and training built into the secondary level to support the development of entrepreneurial skills. World-class facilities and infrastructure in a technology-enabled sector, and increased access at all levels of the system to equitable and sustainable funding. These are the 7 keys to unlocking our next level of exceptional learners and critical thinkers. With a lifelong desire to learn, Jamaica's youth have the power to not only elevate their own standard of living, but also to enhance the well-being of all Jamaica. As we push forward with Trend, we will create educational systems of success, assigning the best people to manage the process. Give more attention to early childhood education so we can stimulate excellent learner performance from the start. Empower our educators to create learning experiences that transform minds and lives for greater impact. Build an aligned network of tertiary learning institutions focused on delivering accreditations that strengthen the impact of our tertiary graduates. Provide physical and technological learning spaces that deliver equitable access and resources to all types of learners, and optimize educational budgets and resources to guarantee greater results from early childhood to tertiary level learning.
So that Jamaica may under God increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Let's trend so Jamaica will continue to be prosperous and more globally competitive. Trend, transforming education for national development, changing minds, changing lives for a brighter tomorrow.
From getting your learner's permit to cruising with confidence on the open road, let's shift gears and explore the steps of obtaining your driver's license. Buckle up and join us as we guide you through the journey from start to finish. Ready? Let's hit the road.
So, you've acquired your provisional or learner's driver's license, and the next step is getting the real deal. Well, the process for getting each is a bit different, but nonetheless very achievable.
Now, the fundamental difference between the provisional and the driver's license now is that with the driver's license you can drive by yourself, but with the provisional, an instructor have to be there with you, must be there with you at all times. Somebody who have a driver's license must be with you. So once you acquire the driver's license now, you can drive by your own.
But before we go in to get this piece of document, we must have an idea of the type of license that we're applying for. Here in Jamaica, there are 3 categories available: a motorcycle license, a private license for motor cars only, and a general license, which is for any vehicle including motorcycles and public passenger vehicles. Now it's time to head to an Island Traffic Authority depot. But don't leave these important documents: a completed driver's license application form, signed by a justice of the peace or a notary public, the examination fee receipt, your provisional driver's license or learner's permit, and 3 passport-size photographs, also signed by a JP or notary public.
First step we need to do is that we must be successful in the road code test, and we must acquire the provisional driver's license. Now, when you would have gone to your instructor, right? Your instructor would then decide when you are ready to go and do the test. You should prepare yourself for 3 things: the written test, the yard test, and the road test. You need to know how to navigate that motor vehicle, right, safely without hitting down anyone. So you need to be in control of the vehicle, right? Know when to brake, know when to gas, know when to turn, etc. Ensure that you know your road code, right? Know your road signs, know your road markings, know the responsibility of drivers, know the responsibility of other road users. Understand what the road marking signs mean, the white line mean, and know what they mean, and obey them. So those things are very critical, right? So once you know these things, right, then you're ready to do the written test. The written test have to deal with driving questions, driving issues.
It's mandatory for all applicants to complete this written test. Individuals are required to read a sentence, then complete the written test where the knowledge of vehicle mechanics will be tested for general license applicants.
And after you have passed the written test, then we take it to the yard test.
During the yard test, applicants' ability to start on a gradient or hill, parallel park, and reverse will be assessed.
So here, so now you learn hill start. Your instructor should teach you hill start, how to start on the hill, so you don't run back and create mayhem and crashing people behind you. So again, controlling the vehicle, very critical, right? So once you have done the hill start, you do the yard test, how you navigate the navigate on the road network. Just as how you would have to navigate out there in the real world. So we put you in that control. It's a control environment, right? So we carry you through that navigatory process. Once you have exercised that safely, right, that is good. Another component of it is that we need to see a reversing skills. We want to see that reversing skill being executed, and we want it to be done safely without creating any imbalances in the traffic environment. Once you have completed the yard test, the yard operations, yes, then we can take you out to the road. Because you'd have proven to us that we must take you out to the road, right? Now, once we have taken you out to the road now, we give you some instructions, and the instructions should be followed, right? And you are assessed again. Once you have passed all 3 components, then a certificate of competence will be issued with respect to you. Now, that certificate of competence now would then be used as the instrument that would allow you to access the technology of a driver's license, right? And the tax office now would be the ones that would issue you with that card, allowing you to drive for that period of time. If you have not executed the components properly, you will then be required to come back, right, to do the components that you have failed. Right? So those things would have been documented, what you pass, and whatever you fail, you will be required to come back and do it.
And there you have it, the Island Traffic Authority's simple steps to help you achieve your very own driver's license.
Thinking about taking a break to visit a game reserve? Before you go, it's important to understand the do's and don'ts. Stay tuned for some valuable tips that can help you to enjoy the experience.
Here, birds are at rest. Wild animals make their home. The inquisitive eye gets its full share of rich colors, and at times, man and animal venture into a game of hide and seek.
A game reserve is a protected area of land where birds are with part of their habitat where they would nest and so on, and it's not legal to shoot in those areas.
A game reserve is an area that the birds do their nesting.
A game reserve is a place where the birds them live there.
It's where people hunt birds and things like that. I don't remember anymore.
A game reserve is a place that I can't go. You're not allowed to shoot there, you're not allowed to fish there, you're not allowed to do anything to destroy the environment there.
A game reserve is a parcel of land or body of water or an area comprising both land and water within which the hunting of birds or any other animals is strictly prohibited. It's also illegal to bring into these game reserves any weapons or dogs for hunting, or even to take the nest of a bird.
In Jamaica, game reserves are monitored by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
Game reserves are like a refuge for game birds in particular, where they can escape all the hunting activities that are occurring on the island. There are also good roosting areas and breeding areas for these birds. In addition, some of these areas are also areas where a lot of endangered birds are, and we actually don't want any hunting activities in there in case there is accidental or illegal hunting of these birds. A lot of these game reserves do have many other species there. Another endangered species that's come to mind when we speak of wetlands, for example, is the endangered American crocodile. And we know a lot of people have some fear of the crocodile, and we just don't want that human-crocodile interactions because the crocodile always comes out on the losing end. So it's always good to ensure that these areas are no shooting areas, no hunting areas.
Forest reserves are also considered game reserves as well.
There are 19 game reserves across the island, and we are currently at the Amity Hall and Goat Island Game Reserves, and this one in particular is a little interesting in that it's the only game reserve that incorporates both land and a body of water. Over here is actually a part of the game reserve, and in the background there, that's the Great Goat Island, and so between the mainland here and the Great Goat Island, this body of water is also a no shooting area.
So other than this, where are the other game reserves located on the island? There is the Great Morass Game Reserve in Holland Bay, St. Thomas. In St. Catherine, the Portmore and Greater Portmore and Cabaretta Point Game Reserves. In Clarendon, the Long Island, West Harbor Peak Bay and Mason River Savannah Game Reserves. Bordering on Clarendon and Manchester is the Alligator Pond, Gut River and Canoe Valley Game Reserves. Also in Manchester is the Reigate Game Reserve. Over in St. Elizabeth, there is the Black River Upper and Lower Morass Game Reserves, as well as the Paratee Great Morass and Stanmore Hill Game Reserves. Bordering on Westmoreland and Hanover in Negril, there is the Great Morass Game Reserve. In Montego Bay, St. James, there is the Bogue Lagoon Creek Game Reserve, while over in the west, in the parish of Trelawney, is the Glistening Waters Game Reserve. Portland is home to the Ferry Hill Port Antonio Game Reserve, while St. Anne, Jamaica's Garden Parish, has the Knapdale Game Reserves. There is also the Kingston and St. Andrew Game Reserves.
On our NEPA website, for example, you can actually find maps of all these game reserves, and it's important for persons to know exactly where they are, because sometimes people would create new tracks and they won't be assigned necessarily at that new track. So it's important to know exactly where you are.
You're not allowed to hunt there, and if I was to go in there with my weapon to hunt and you found me, I could go to jail, so I won't go in there.
No shooting zone, you can't shoot there. If NEPA catch you, you go to jail.
That's right. These hunters know the law well, which declares that any person found in a game reserve in possession of any animal, bird, bird's eggs, or nests will be presumed to be in violation of the Wildlife Protection Act. This can attract a maximum fine of $100,000, 12 months imprisonment, or both, if convicted by a resident magistrate.
So for each game reserve, there is actually a buffer around the game reserve of 50 meters. So persons are required to observe a 50-meter zone around each game reserve where no hunting is allowed or no trapping of birds or animals is allowed. We are along the edge of the Amity Hall and Goat Islands Game Reserve, and this is actually the boundary, one of the boundary lines, this canal right here. And so no hunting is allowed within 50 meters of this canal, and everything over here is actually a part of the game reserve where no hunting is allowed.
There are signs at the entrance to game reserves. Identifying one is an easy feat. For more information on game reserves, contact the National Environment and Planning Agency at 754-7540 or visit their website at nepa.gov.jm.
Yo, this is We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
And that's where we put a lid on things for Jamaica Magazine today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another informative edition. Remember to visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.